Hello, I'm Ian, and this is Somerset Newsnet. We're having problems with the light at the moment. I've put my hat on to sort of shade my eyes a little bit. Anyway, Starmer, here we go again. He's just carrying on as normal. Absolute craziness. He's lost 3 staff from number 10 because of the Mandelson scandal. Mandelson has gone. Streeting was said to have been organising a coup against Starmer. Streeting is said to have been advised and supported by Mandelson. Therefore, it didn't get anywhere. It's like, you can't make this up. You know, intrigue, plots, you know. It really is like the Game of Thrones, I tell you. Claire Rayner is the deputy leader of the Labour Party. Lammy is the deputy prime minister. So we've got 2 deputies to Starmer. Starmer is the leader and the prime minister. Claire Rayner thinks that she ought to be in charge, but she's publicly backing Starmer, but on the quiet, she's working to get rid of him. You can't make this up, I tell you. While all these shenanigans is going on, who's really running the country? The government is like paralysed. It's coming up with all these announcements. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. And then you get, oh, it's a U-turn. Oh, they can't do this, they can't do that. Oh, it's another U-turn. U-turns everywhere. You know, every time they announce something, oh, we can't do that, we'll do a U-turn. Another U-turn. They can't do joined up government. They've got this socialist ideology which prevents them managing this country properly. Labour governments through time. The last Labour government, well, the first Labour government I remember was Harold Wilson. You know, and every time they bankrupt the country, every time we go into more debt, every time there's a Labour government. Starmer said, we got to spend more money. Now, you're earning a wage or you're on a pension like I am. I've got my small workshop and it earns me a little bit more money. My pension is fixed. My workshop is up and down. Some months it's good, some months I don't make a lot. But the costs of doing business is now so great that most of my money I get in goes on costs. Paying other people to do work, buying goods, even buying sandpaper and wet and dry to do my work, and oil. And steel, the cost of steel is unbelievable. When I first started, I was self-employed about 20 years ago. I started in my old place. And the cost of steel I didn't worry about. I bought 10-foot lengths of steel, cut them in half so they're 5 foot long in the workshop, painted them the colour that they are, because they're colour coded for steel, if it's mild steel or if it's tool steel. A carbon steel, that is, that will harden and is then more durable. And I did all that, and the cost of steel was so cheap that I didn't bother to factor the price of steel into the job. I just absorbed it. Today, steel is so expensive, I have to charge it by the inch to get me money back. And this is successive governments, Tory and Labour. I'm not just going to blame Labour for this. And the price of brass and the price of copper to do small little jobs. Unbelievable. I make knives, one of my little sidelines. And I buy the blades in, and they're already hardened in temper. All I got to do is polish them and put a handle on and put a guard on. The guard is brass. Well, the cost of the brass was like £2 or £3 to start with about 15 years ago. It's now £8 or £10 for the brass. It's just unbelievable, the cost of stuff to do a job. And then what we got Labour now so much infighting they can't manage the country. Streeting is not getting anywhere, although he was supposed to have been doing this coup. Obviously somebody had leaked it to the press that Streeting was going to run a coup against Starmer. We had Burnham, the Manchester mayor, Greater Manchester mayor, was going to stand in the by-election. Starmer put the kibosh on it because he didn't want Burnham threatening him for the leadership. They don't believe in democracy, these people. They get into position and then they fight everybody off. If they believed in democracy, they wouldn't be cancelling elections. Look at the number of council elections that have been cancelled, that are Labour-run councils at the moment. They think they're going to lose, either to the Tories or to Reform. We've got the by-election in Birmingham coming up. No, sorry, I correct that. We got the by-election in Manchester coming up, in Gordon. And the two people in the lead, according to the polls, are the Greens and Reform. Reform are odds-on favourites to win. The Green Party came out with its manifesto, and it's absolutely atrocious. They want to invite all these immigrants in. They want to legalise heroin and cocaine. Unbelievable. It's just utter nonsense. Now, I don't know how anybody could vote. Oh, and the net zero as well. Oh, they're going on about being green. Well, it's a Green Party, isn't it? Net zero is a con. I've seen the emails that prove that the Met Office, who is a government agency, asked the scientists of East Anglia University to fix the figures, not to come up with scenarios that show business as normal, it said, which means they were going to cook the books. And then there's emails going backwards and forwards between the scientists of how they could lower the medieval warm period and then push some of the colder periods we've had in the future up. So they levelled it out. And then obviously, because they're blaming CO2, it spikes at the end. But the real scientists have proved that the CO2 levels have dropped from 2,500 parts per million 40,000 years ago to round about 3,000 parts per million today. So perhaps we should be thinking about increasing our carbon emissions, not decreasing them. Decrease carbon emission. Carbon, CO2, is plant food. It makes trees. It makes cabbages, carrots, all the vegetables you eat. You reduce CO2, you reduce your harvest. crops grow smaller. It's a scientific fact. Now we got Miliband. He's now tipped for the top job. So you've got Streeting. Burnham's out because they won't let him get elected. Claire Rayner. And what about Rachel Reeves? Is she going to be on the card? I don't know. Or is there going to be a dark horse coming? Trouble is, I don't trust any of them. The best thing Starmer can do is call an election for May, reinstate the council elections, the ones he's already cancelled, and let the people decide. If they believe in democracy, they will hold an election. Go to the country. Let us decide. Now we can see how bad the Labour Party is and the tyranny that we're under, putting people with Facebook posts and Twitters in handcuffs and trying to send them to court. Even the guy that wrote Father Ted did a tweet from America, got to Heathrow Airport and was met by armed police officers for a tweet he did in America. Absolutely unbelievable. Why? Because he was talking about trans. You know, I was talking about it. I questioned the pride flag. And I had a 4-month police investigation. This is not British justice. This is Starmer dictating how the forces are used against us. It's to silence us. And if they can do it on a tweet or a Facebook post, what happens when they turn around and say, I'm a Labour councillor, I'm a Labour MP. They're having a go at me. I'm now offended. That's now a hate crime. Or even, they might even say, like with me, malicious communications. That is the way it's going. So Starmer has got to call an election. Let's get it over and done with. Let's have a democratically elected government. And what I think is going to happen changes. I thought 2 months ago, Christmas, I thought Nigel Farage is going to win, no problem. He's going to be the next Prime Minister. Now, Kemi, the leader of the Conservatives, is doing very well. And people like her. She's saying all the right things. I am now revising that, and I'm saying Farage will win enough to win an election, but I don't know if he'll have an overall majority in the Commons. And he may have to go into coalition with the Conservatives. And being that Reform will be the leading MPs, because they'll take them from the Lib Dems and from Labour, I think that this country can then get itself sorted out. We can't have another Conservative government. Can't trust them. But hopefully with Reform taking the lead and the Conservatives, the real Conservatives, backing them up, we might stand a chance. Anyway, this is Ian, Somerset News Network. Bye bye for now.